Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gio, and every day I teach you guys why the market moves the way that it does. Listen to me today. We're going to talk about something very important. My last few videos, I've been covering USDT dominance, as I am the king of USDT dominance. And we had spoken about this green box, which we're going to talk about right now, because in my opinion, this green box is the road to Euphoria. In my previous video, which if you have not seen, you need to know the previous video to be here. So go click there or here or wherever, this way. Okay? And then come back here. One love. I miss you already. Let's talk about USDT dominance. In the last video, we talked about how this box is very important. We talked about how we're very likely to come down to this box, how this is my nexus zone, which is kind of my line in the sandbox line for Euphoria. Okay, this morning I even went as far as saying in my TA to the nexus, let me just, whoops, I wrote road to Euphoria. I don't know where my thing went, but it's gone. Anyway, whatever. Road to Euphoria. Why is this the road to Euphoria? Just to backtrack, my friends, what do we have? Let's pull up our beautiful, trusted, sexy, sensual PO3 idea. Okay, we've talked about this PO3 idea many times on the channel. We've talked about how Euphoria begins up here. We absolutely nailed the rise, which is the dump on the market, to a T. And we've absolutely nailed the pump on the market to a T. However, we are up in the air right now, currently, as we are speaking, as to whether or not this is the actual manipulation move, or we are going to form a larger range as such, and we have not seen our manipulation phase just yet. Okay? What's the answer to that? I don't know. Okay? I don't know what the answer to that is going to be, but here's what I'm going to tell you. For me, this is my line in the sandbox line. Okay? If the PO3 is going to complete and we're going to have our road to Euphoria, okay? We've had it labeled out here from many times ago. Euphoria begins. We've talked about that. You know that. I know that. It would be foolish to say otherwise. We need to get beyond this level, okay? So let's talk about this level. This is my nexus zone. I don't want to see USDT break down much below here in order for me to continue, or sorry, in order for me to not think that the road to Euphoria is going to begin. If we start to lose some of these lows, then I suspect that our PO3's in, the bottom's in, and we are ready for Euphoria, okay? Now, in the last video, I told you guys that we could wick out my box. Okay, I did say that we could wick out my box. And that's exactly what we did. Okay, we did wick out the box. However, we have one more box below us that we still technically could bounce from. It's undeniable that USDT dominance has been in a very large downtrend, aka the market has been in a very large uptrend. Okay? But here's the thing about this zone. If you zoom in to like the 10-minute time frame, okay, you can see I have my alerts. I'm looking for the first sign of strength here, ready to short if I see it. If you zoom into this zone, you can see we wicked it out, whatever, and we haven't hit this daily level yet, okay? Now, if you come on the daily time frame and you actually zoom in, you can see very clearly that we have, in fact, hit that level, okay? So how do we approach this? Well, I'll tell you this. Previously, I've learned, especially when USDT dominance came up and we didn't hit 4.61, and I thought it was going to hit 4.61, and it was like a huge commotion that I had going on for a very long time up here, right? When this high was put in, when this high was put in, I thought that this high needed to sweep out that high, right? But then we have uncovered since then, shouts out to the Nexus because the Nexus knows this, but we've uncovered since then, I apparently can't go replay mode on this. We've uncovered since then that on the daily time frame, that was actually swept. So I can't trust the levels on smaller time frames, because whenever you're playing with the dominances, they usually kind of do some Mickey Mouse shit like this, right? In other words, the daily is what matters more than anything else. Okay? The same thing happened here. You can see that this second wick took out the first one. So this ended up being a model 2 distribution. If I were to come on a lower term time frame and I come back to that circle, all of a sudden you have equal highs. Right? So that's 2 cases right now where I just proved in your face that the daily time frame is what matters. On the daily time frame, you actually hit the daily demand zone. So we are right now at the door to Euphoria, if you start breaking this daily demand zone, I honest to God don't see why we would not make our way all the way down to 3.67%, which remember, I am speculating for now, and I could be wrong. Things could change since we get there. But that's where the bear market begins, and this whole thing is Euphoria. Okay, maybe it goes lower. I don't know. But this part where I drew out the Euphoria begins at the same place that the same time that I drew the bear market begins. Same time, same place. I drew that out. Okay. So what happens down here? We'll talk about that if and when we get there. I don't know right now. For now, we're talking about this. If this level goes, okay, if this level goes that we're at right now, then I'm going to say we're probably going to get super euphoric, and everybody for Uptober is going to be very happy, very pleased and very happy. Okay? Very aroused, if you will. But you have to break this level. So because the daily time frame now has hit this very last demand, this is my line in the sand box line. Okay? If we start to see strength here on USDT Dominance, then I suspect USDT Dominance is headed up for a couple of zones. Okay? Zone number 1 is between 4.51 to 4.56, where we may get a pullback on the market. Here's where you could get your rejection and then continue your road to Euphoria. If not this zone, in my opinion, you're heading up to 4.63 to 4.7 before continuing your road to Euphoria. And if not there, then I suspect we're coming up to 4.75, which would mean, yes, the market would put one more low in. You do have liquidity residing above you. For then your possible higher time frame, power of 3 idea to play out, where this is our range, this is our manipulation, and this is our expansion to make what? Your road to Euphoria. Guys, if you like the content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys get my updates in a timely manner. If you're interested in joining the Nexus, the link for that is in the description down below. If you want to join KSEX, the #1 exchange in the world, in my opinion, lowest on fees, and I'm the first creator that put everybody on it, by the way. Everybody else is jumping the bandwagon now after me because I only bring you the best. The link for that is also in the description down below, and I very much so appreciate it. My friends, trade safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. One love.